All right, this is Chris with Rekkid Talk doing the Country Music Vinyl Tag 2021. And it's going to be mostly vinyl. I will throw in some CDs along the way. Again, similar to when I did this for jazz, country music is not my main genre. I have gotten actually more into certain classic country and then some of the modern alt Americana, alt country, whatever you want to call it. And so I was inspired. I saw Mazzy doing this video, and then originally it was done by another fat bearded man talking about records, which I guess I could have named my channel Another Fat Bearded Man Talking About Records, not records, records. But I didn't. I just went with Rekkid Talk. So let's start off. The oldest country record you own, date of release or recording. So I went with the date of recording. So this is Johnny Cash, I Walk the Line, Get Rhythm, 7-inch single that was released in 1956 on Sun Records. If this looks in awfully good shape, this is a recent reissue by Third Man Records. I actually have a Johnny Cash comp CD that actually has a couple songs, Hey Porter and Cry, Cry, Cry from 1955. Newest country record in your collection, a new release or new acquisition. Well, this is pretty new. This is Sturgill Simpson, Cutting Grass, Volume 1. I've got the indie retail exclusive here. And so the indie retail exclusive is on the John Deere colored vinyl. Trying not to. So we got yellow, and the other one is going to be green. The yellow and green vinyl that I'm not showing very well. But anyway, the John Deere colors. So these were the bluegrass versions of his songs. And there's a volume 2 as well, which I have actually ordered but have not yet received. That's why it didn't make today's show. But Sturgill Simpson is one of my favorites. I probably will eventually do a show just about him, probably ranking the albums at some point. I'm still picking. I'm trying to pick up all of his records on vinyl. I'm actually fairly close with him. A record you own on a country music label. Well, I can go a couple different routes here. So we have the debut CD by Nickel Creek from 2000, Sugar Hill Records. So sort of the neo bluegrass. Chris Thiele now is in Punch Brothers. Or we have this Lyle Lovett record from I think about 1988 or so on Curb Records. So 1986, excuse me, with the Lyle record. What's next? International. So I'm thinking a little outside the box here. This is a Bella Fleck CD, Throw Down Your Heart. Tales from the Acoustic Planet, Volume 3. Africa Sessions. So this was Bella Fleck playing music with a variety of African musicians. I actually saw them live. Musicians from, I think some of them were from East Africa, like Uganda and Tanzania, and then some from West Africa, like Senegal and Mali. And I think they do have some native instruments that are not dissimilar to banjos and those sorts of instruments that you would associate with bluegrass. Not that I'm a musicologist or expert on that. So please correct me if I said something dumb. Bluegrass, string band, or old-timey record you own. Well, this isn't an old-timey record because it just came out last fall. This is Tyler Childers' Long Violent History. So Tyler Childers is a young country artist from eastern Kentucky who kind of made the news by speaking out in favor of Black Lives Matter, which is a bit of a bolder stance to take when you're in his line of music than if you are an alternative rocker or indie rocker. And so this was basically a record of fiddle music, all instrumentals except for Long Violet History, the very last song on side 2. So that's Tyler Childers' Long Violent History. I don't have big collections of anybody in terms of country music. It's probably down between Willie Nelson and Johnny Cash. And so a record from the artist you have the largest collection of, I just decided I'd go ahead and show Willie Nelson's Stardust. So this was obviously a pretty popular record of him doing some standards. I think he released this in, the late 70s, I believe. Is there a date on it? 1978. So then we'll do some Johnny Cash in the next couple categories. A live country record you own. So Vinyl Me Please recently started their country track. And in fact, the very first record on their country track was Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison. And because it's Vinyl Me Please, it just doesn't come out on plain black vinyl. A country box set or collection. I've been off and on a member of Third Man Records, The Vault. And this was one that came out, probably 6 months ago or so. Their package 45, Johnny Cash, A Night to Remember. So there is this double live album from, I think it was released in 1973. So there were some appearances with Carl Perkins, June Carter Cash. I think Larry Gatlin was on some of this. A DVD came along with it, and it also got this 7-inch single with Rustin Kelly on one side, the Lumineers on the other side, playing Johnny Cash songs. A country duet record. I don't really have a true duet record. So I'll show a couple of records that do have a couple of songs that are duets. So this is Loretta Lynn, Van Leer Rose. So we got more third man content here. She did a song with Jack White on this record called Portland, Oregon. And in fact, I have the third man version of that record. And then I have kind of this, just this Kenny Rogers Greatest Hits compilation on Liberty Records. That was probably released in, looks like it was released probably about 1980 or so, featuring mostly songs from the late 70s. There's a duet with Kim Carnes on here and a duet with Dottie West. And of course, it's got The Gambler, of course, because you've got to listen to The Gambler. There'll be more about gambling later on. Where are we at now? Country duet. Country record you would recommend to somebody new to country? Well, I'm not the best person to ask this, but I was gifted this one time. This is Rhino put this out about 15 years ago. Billboard's #1 classic countries. So it's a 2 CD set. It's sort of like basically the classic country version of like the Beatles one or the Elvis #1 hits. So you've got Willie, Buck Owens, Patsy Cline, Johnny Cash, Eddie Rabbits, Merle Haggard, Dolly Parton, going back, Farron Young, Loretta Lynn, Conroy Twitty, Charlie Rich, Dwight Yoakam. That's probably about as new as this got. It's mostly stuff from the 60s and 70s. So, and obviously it's just a CD comp. It's nothing special, but it could be a starter for somebody. A favorite country album cover. Well, first of all, this is not actually a country record, but it is by a country artist. So I'm going to choose to show it. It is this record right here, Sound and Fury. This was the 2019 record by Sturgill Simpson. This is a rock record, and it's kind of hard to describe. I mean, there's some elements of classic rock, psych rock, some of the more modern sounding rock and roll as well. But I think this is just an outstanding record. And it comes on this red and black vinyl. I really love this record, Sound and Fury. It's not a country record, but I'm showing it anyway. 7-inch or 10-inch. I already showed you one 7-inch. I'm going to show you a couple other 7-inch records. I don't have any country 10-inch records. I have very few 10-inch records of anything. So this is going to be a fairly unknown young country singer. She's probably in her 30s now. Kind of almost the epitome of sort of your East Nashville hipster country singer. Her name's Caitlin Rose. And so I discovered her by accident. I was at Bonnaroo in 2012, and some guy I was just talking with said, "Hey, Caitlin Rose is going to play over there in the small little tent." I went to high school with her. She's great. I didn't have a particular band I wanted to see at that time period, so I went ahead and watched, and I really liked her. Picked up her stuff. She hasn't actually put out a record, unfortunately, in several years, but it looks like she does have one that is going to come out later this year. I guess this would count as a duet as well. This was a single off her first full-length album that was called Ownside Now. This is called Shanghai Cigarettes, and it was a duet with Raylan Baxter. And then side B has, I believe, an acoustic version of that song and some Chinese lettering that I suppose probably says Shanghai Cigarettes. And then this was actually a single that came out on a tiny little label called Theory 8. It's called Gorilla Man. This song is hilarious. So this kind of blends into the next one, a record released by a small private or independent label. So Theory 8. And also on Theory 8, I have this CD EP, Dead Flowers, which came out before her full-length albums. This is also on Theory 8. This had the Gorilla Man song on it. It also has the other song of the 7 that I really like on this is Answer in One of These Bottles. So it's a drinking song. I mean, you have to have drinking songs if you're going to talk about country. All right, what do we have next? We have a country music grail you're happy to have found. And I think albums that were put out in like 2011, 2013. This is the one from 2013 called the Standin. This one actually sounds a bit Linda Ronstadt-y. Her one from 2011, she sounds more like Patsy Cline, and I actually think that one's a better record. Ownside Now I don't have on vinyl yet. It's supposed to be reissued later this year because it's very expensive right now. But I'm pretty much trying to be cataloged on Caitlin Rose. An alt country or country rock album you own? Well, as a spoiler, I'm going to be doing a ranking the albums of Uncle Tupelo probably this weekend. And so Uncle Tupelo was Jeff Tweedy and Jay Farrar before they split up. Of course, Tweedy went on to Wilco and Farrar went on to Sunvolt. I have a few CDs of theirs as well, though I don't really have as much Wilco as you might think. But so we have 1990, No Depression, 1991, Still Feel Gone. These are all on CD. I don't have any of these on vinyl. March 16 to 20, 1992. That was in 1992. And then the final Uncle Tupelo record, Anodyne, from 1993. And we're getting pretty close to being done. A country record from a country subgenre you own. I haven't really talked about classic rock yet. I have several sort of old country rock, I said classic rock, country rock albums. I'm going to show Stephen Still's Manassas. I could have shown the David Crosby debut. I could have shown Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I could have shown some Neil Young records. I could have shown a Buffalo Springfield. I pulled out Manassas to show here. A favorite repress. So this is another recent one off the country track on Vinyl Me Please. This was Willie Nelson, Shotgun Willie. And so, of course, it's on sort of this smoky vinyl instead of just a regular black vinyl. And then finally, this wasn't a category, but I want to show it because this is weird. This is Lauren Green 5-card stud with the Kmart special sale $1.77 sticker. Songs of Adventure, Love, and Sorrow. This is a comp that was put out in 1970. You can kind of think of Lauren Green as sort of like the country version of William Shatner. A really bad Johnny Cash impersonation. And probably really bad at Johnny Carson as well. So he's doing like the spoken word storytelling thing, but it's just not as compelling as a Johnny Cash. 5-card stud is the first song and the title song. 5-card stud, I'm a poker player. 5-card stud is like the world's most boring poker game. But I thought that was kind of an oddity, and I liked the Kmart sticker on it.